Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be looking into the Trident. I bought it for Black Friday, figured eventually I'm gonna need it. I figured I'd buy it then to save a few bucks since I know eventually I would get it. But I wasn't thinking of connecting it yet because I wasn't putting any corals in here, and therefore I didn't really need to keep up with all those parameters. But there are corals now. Let me show you. And as you can see, some are doing well and some are not. That one right here is doing well. Doing well. Somewhat, its polyps are out, but it just, I don't know. I feel like it was bleaching, but its polyps are out. That one, half of it has gone, and the other half has a little bit of its polyps out. Gone, doing well. I believe that one's gone. Doing well. Then we have this other one over here. Doing well. No polyps though, but not dying. And I can't get this one to look like you saw in that one video. The reason the tank looks the way it does, very foggy, is because I've made some changes right here. I did a rescape here, but not because I felt like it needed it. More like because I had Aptasia all over this tank, this area, and I had purchased Aptasia X so that I can start killing them. So the tank's been off for about 30 minutes. Normally I give it about an hour and a half to make sure that they're dead. But I've heard of people saying that, here, let me turn this back around. The thing is, if I turn it back around without the filter on here, this is how you see me. So I need to put this back on. I don't know how the hell I got Aptasia in here, but it has to be because of the rock that I was already established for a while, which is where all the anemones are at. Because as you know, for those that have been following me, I used to have an anemone only tank, and I'm assuming it came from there. But that it took this long to show, it's just odd, because I know you're thinking maybe the corals that are in there, but the Aptasia actually was there before the corals were added. So at this point, I don't know. But either way, Aptasia's there, and therefore I had to use Aptasia X. I want to say that I at least had to move a lot of rock just to make sure that I got to as much as I can see, and it was about 8 to 9 of them. But anyways, that's not what we're here for today. That today is about the Trident. I'm not going to take you through the steps of installing it. There's many videos out there that show that. I'm going to open it, see what it comes with, and then decide where I'm going to put it. So here is the Trident. In case you're wondering, this is how it comes in the box. You get the very the first thing you have to see is do not plug in, and that's because you have to first open it and start setting it up on your Apex Fusion app, because there's going to be a video that tells you what to do prior to plugging it in. So it's important that you watch that video thoroughly, which I'm going to do in between these clips that I'm recording, and go from there. This is the reagents right here, and there goes the Trident. I'm assuming this is the calibration unit. Absolutely, calibration solution. Alrighty. This is the tubing. And finally we have this. So if you've watched any of the most recent videos from Neptune, they've clarified some things that people were thinking you had to do with this device, which is send it in for repairs or for recalibration every 6 months to 12 months. And you do have to send it in, which is a bummer, but hey, I get it. I don't know if I'll be the type to want to do this myself unless I want to do a video for it and do it myself and try my luck. Depends if I have a lot of subscribers, right? But it's every 18 months to 24 months if needed. If your parameters are still the same and you don't see any odd issues or weird noises or whatever, I mean, honestly guys, it's up to you. You will know whether it's acting funny or not. I don't think there's any rocket science to this. It's either acting right or it's not. If it's not, and you don't want to do any maintenance on your own, you send it in as they stated you can do. and there's a price of course for it, unless it's still under warranty. And if it's working and your parameters match, I mean, I would suggest that maybe once a month you do a HANA test or something like that, just to make sure. Or if things are not looking right, but yet this device tells you that all the parameters are correct. I mean, I think as reefers, we know when something's wrong and something's right, and therefore, you know when it's time to send it in for some type of recalibration, maintenance, or whatever the case is. So I'm gonna continue going through this. I'm gonna watch the video, and then I'm gonna see about possibly connecting it right now. Why not, right? Alright guys, so this right now is initializing. This won't be its permanent spot, but it will be for a while until I can figure out what to do. I'm thinking of buying an acrylic lid. And you probably haven't seen this in my previous videos. This is a 56-gallon tank that I'm using as an ATO reservoir. I do plan on putting some kind of furniture over here. That way it's always enclosed. And my thought is, either if I do put that furniture that should meet the level of this tank, I'll put the Trident on there, or I'll put a piece of a long big acrylic, cut it to size to set it on top of this tank, and then set this Trident on top of the reservoir. The setup was pretty easy. If you pay attention to the videos when you're doing the initial setup through Apex, he did a very good job in explaining how to do it and what not to do and what to do. So far no issues, but again, it's still initializing. I will know once it's done. It normally takes 3 to 5 minutes. In the meantime, I set up my tablet that I will be using permanently right here. Oh, looks like it won't stay up. Ignore the salt. I've been having issues with the salt. I've actually tested it with both the HANA pen and the refractometer, and it's actually at 35.1. On the HANA it says 35.1, on the refractometer it says 35. So I'm not sure what to do here, but I may calibrate it again. You won't believe how many times I'll try to calibrate it and it comes out to be the same. So I've left it alone for now. But here you see these readings right now. Of course it says no water sample, meaning it was not able to grab the water sample. Let me check on that. So what I did was, it says to put it in the sump with being 2 inches away from the bottom. So I did about, what I guesstimated to be 1 inch, but there it is. There's no way to clip that on here because, as you can see, I have this type of, I guess you call it Euro brace or something like that on the sump. Therefore I used that and just tying up the little screw so it would hold it and make sure it wouldn't move. Not sure what it means by no sample water, so I'm gonna watch a video real quick to see what that means. I mean, I'm assuming it's not grabbing water, but I guess maybe I'll have to tear it apart and see what's going on. Here I thought that those were the numbers of my tank, to kind of find out that it hasn't even pulled sample water. So I made sure that there's nothing in the tubing by squeezing it all across, and I even removed the clip, that orange clip, because I read that could be an issue. Then also saw that it said about restarting, so I went ahead and restarted it. We'll see what happens. I'm not getting the error yet, so we'll figure it out in a minute. If it gives me that error again, I will try pushing water through. Neptune recommends like a Salifert pink needle, and trying to push water through the hose that way to make sure that I unclog anything that may be clogging it. And hopefully that fixes it, and if not, then I'll have to contact support. Well, I'll let you know here in a minute. Hopefully it takes 3 to 5 minutes. I'll be honest, it's not noisy. On the phone it might capture it as noisy, but with all the other noise going on in the house, I wouldn't even know that this thing is on. Another thought that I actually had is build something, or find something that could cover this space right here, and set the Trident right on top to be level with the ATO, but we'll see. We shall see. For now, it's going again, and hopefully this time it can grab some sample water. We'll be right back. Alright guys, so it's been a few days later. Actually, it's been about a week and a half later since I installed the Trident. On the last video I did show that I was having issues with the line that goes from the Trident into my sump to collect sample water, so the sample line. And at first I thought there was a defect with the line because it literally was pinched, and I'll show you some pictures of what it looked like. I did contact Neptune, And I mean, great customer service. I know some people might not like it. I think normally people don't understand when you're out of warranty, you'll have to pay some price, and it's up to them at their discretion whether they want to cover whatever is wrong with the issue at no cost after the fact that it's out of warranty, right? If it's in warranty, then I understand they should cover everything, right? In this case, should be in warranty. But I had another issue, and I'll talk about that in another video. I had an issue with my ATK, which is the automatic top-off kit that I have, where the power supply went out, and that one has been over a year now. I don't know if it had to do with me complaining about the Trident, that feed line, the sample line, and that at the same time, but they did send me both at no cost. So I do appreciate it a lot, Neptune Apex. So back to the Trident. It was a breeze to set it up. I didn't do a video on the initial setup, but it did throw me off for a little bit because the Apex here, when you log into Apex Fusion, it threw some numbers, and I didn't pay attention to that until after it started trying to initially set up. So I was thinking, oh, those are the numbers. But then I was like, hold on, but they haven't changed and it's been running for a while. And then I started getting the error of, no sample water, and started reading into that. And normally it's because it's either pinched or there's something blocking it. And I tried everything that I could to try to unblock it and it wouldn't work. Talked to Apex, I sent some new stuff out, and then from posts on Facebook, some guy said try hot water and continue just messing with the line. And so I put it in hot water, really hot water, took it out and just kept squeezing it the opposite direction of where it was pinched at. And after maybe an hour or so of messing with it, it actually came loose. I grabbed the syringe from one of my Salifert kits, because it's that thin pink tip syringe where you can, because it's a really small hole on the sample line. And I squeezed water through it and it passed by with no problems at that point. So I just had to put some muscle into it, guys. So yeah, I do have an extra sample line, but I figured I'd keep that in case an issue happens with that again. But after that, everything ran smoothly. My readings came back. For the first day or two, I completely forgot that I was supposed to calibrate it. So I've been going off of those readings. Now I could tell you, going from those readings, I am still extremely happy with this device, because I realized that my alkalinity was actually very low, and why corals were, some of this SPS weren't making it. It was at 6.8, I want to say, that is what measured it before calibrating it. So that's what we're going to talk about. Because I knew it was low, I started dosing this Refusion. I feel like it's a lot cheaper than a lot of other products. So I started dosing that, actually, adding enough millimeters to try to raise the DKH by anywhere between 0.5 and 1 point a day, to where I finally got it up to not to 9 exactly, according to the Trident, of course. And I've seen great results. I'm gonna be completely honest. The polyps on some of these corals that were not coming out have come out. On the strawberry shortcake, they've come out. On other corals that I have no names, you can see polyp extension. I think because I've been a lazy reefer and testing as frequently as I should, I think this Trident is really going to help me be more successful keeping up with all that. And that way, I can do the manual testing once a month just to make sure that everything's still good. I don't mind that at all. And with a busy life with kids and pets and father-in-law and my wife and all that, I think the Trident for me was perfect. So I'm extremely happy with the product. Now, anyways, back to the story. Again, I'm completely, forgetting what I'm supposed to be recording about. I completely forgot that I needed to calibrate this. The day that I was initially setting it up, I saw the calibration and I knew then, but I put it in a box because I knew I had read that wait a few days to calibrate it, and a week and a half passed, and that's because I completely forgot about it. I was happy with the readings and all that. I wasn't trying to chase numbers, just trying to get them within that range that is supposed to be safe for corals. And completely forgot about it, thought about it today, and that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing. I didn't see any videos on how to calibrate. So my assumption, honestly, and I'm gonna read about it here when, before I get to the next clip, but I'm assuming you just take the line out of sump and you would put it into the calibration unit, and then you run the calibration program on the apex. I'll read that just to make sure, but I think that should do it. And then I'm going to see what the numbers look like after the calibration. So here are what the numbers look like before. And if you haven't seen this before, I set up this screen, window screen. I bought this during Black Friday, got it for under $50. I think it was like 30 bucks. And if you can see here, let me get you close up to this. These are my readings right now. Ignore the salt. I've been having some issues with the salinity probe on the apex, and that's gonna be one of my complaints on this. I've already measured it with the refractometer and also the Hana pen, and they both come back at 35, and I made sure to keep it at 35. I've already messed with the temperature offset to make sure, because it used to actually read higher, and when I brought it back down to 0 on the temperature offset, then it came to 39. Actually it was at 37 point something, and after dosing Alkalinity, it went up to 39, but when I measure it with the refractometer here, it measures at 35. Now that I've confirmed that it is 35 ppm in here, I am going to use, according to Neptune, they said I can use the water in here to do the calibration. Hopefully that brings it back to what it's supposed to be. So I'll give you an update on one of my next videos when I do that. But for now, I wanted to document those numbers so that we can see if it looks any different after doing the calibration. While I'm doing that though, let me show you what I'm talking about when it comes to these corals. And I'm jumping back and forth here. I hope y'all don't mind, but my video style is sort of in a way like blogging, so the lights are just starting to come up. It's early in the morning. All right, so I decided to turn on my T5s just for the purpose of this. This green Slimer looked a lot more white than it did green. Appear to be coming back now. It's like a lime yellowish, but you can see the polyps on there. The green forest fire, the red forest fire, I believe it's what that's called. Actually, I want to say that's a bubble gum because at some point it had green tips, but I want to say if you look closely, and you can't tell on the video, especially with the blurriness, that it's coming back now. That one right there in the very middle died. That one right there in the very middle, that nub that was coming out of it died, but the rest of it, you can see polyps coming out now, but it remains white. It should be bluish, greenish. This is supposed to be a strawberry shortcake, and if you pay close attention, but you'll see the polyps out on this one, and that's something that I was not getting prior to. And this is not as much as they come out, because again, this is early in the morning. Then you see the bird's nest, and then the birds of paradise bird's nest. You can see a bunch of these corals that look a lot better from when I put them in here. That one right there did not have all those polyps out. This one, the colors have not started changing at all, but it does have polyps that have come out. Now the one that I'm struggling with that had beautiful colors, and you've seen it on my other videos, that when it was in the QT tank, where you could see the yellows and greens and pinks and all that. This one I have not gotten to come back. So still struggling with this one. It's not dead, it's just browned out. So we'll give it some time. I'm thinking of moving it here where the other ones are at, to see if maybe, right above it, you'll see it's right in the middle of the two lights. So it should be getting lights from both sides, and then when the T5 comes on, there shouldn't be any shadowing, so we'll see. When I did par readings, I could tell you that when I did par tests with the RA SOC group's par meter, I was low on par, but now that I added these corals, I left it low and I've been raising it up by about 5% every other day, with the goal to get these to about 85 to 95%, and that's where you would be in the 300s. Maybe even a little bit above 300s in the middle of the tank, because I do have these higher than the 9 inches. I want to say they're about a foot to a foot and a half, maybe, yeah, about a foot and a half. So I'll have to put them at 100% almost to get the par that I need for SPS, which I'm completely fine with. As you can see, I am struggling with cyano again. And again, like, I don't think this is due to restrictions of flow, because you could see a lot of flow on these rocks. You could see it waving back and forth. So probably a nutrient issue, but I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it right now. On the glass, you can see my hand. Let's see, you can see that I have a lot of my small, I'm assuming these are copepods. I actually had added copepods a long time ago, but never saw this on the glass. And I was thinking that they probably had gotten eaten by the fish. I put them in the sump where I used to have a refugium, but for whatever reason, I'm not able to keep a refugium alive, the chaeto algae alive. So figured I'll give it a try at a later time. What else? Well, that's it on that. So I wanted to show you what the corals are looking like. These right here, the hairy mushrooms are looking a lot better than when I first put them in. That one has not opened up as much as it was opened up upstairs. So everything, you know, I think it looks a lot better than when it did when I first put them in here and I started managing the parameters from what the Trident would come back. This one keeps falling off this rock. I'm trying to see if it will encrust that rock. But all right. Let me get things ready so that I can do the calibration, and I'll take you through that. So it did say to not expect some drastic results because the Trident already comes pre-calibrated from the factory. It's funny because it says do not open until you're ready to calibrate, but it's not like it had anything to stop from air going in there. So unless this was a used product already, this appears to be already used. That's about right there. All right, so the next steps I'm gonna show you here on my phone. Enter the values printed on the calibration reference solution. So this is what it states on the solution. Damn it. 1265. 100. Remove the sample line and sample line holder from the aquarium and place the line and holder in a calibration solution. For the most precise and accurate calibration, it is best to place the calibration solution so it is within 6 inches of the vertical distance of where the sample line holder is normally situated. So vertical, and I had to put it a little bit higher. I don't see an issue with that. So we'll go ahead and move forward with that. All right. So it was on orange, and now I did, as soon as I hit send and it went through, you could hear it make that noise. On the camera it might sound loud, but I'll be honest, normally during my regular day-to-day, I don't hear it, which is lovely. It's blue, and so guys, we'll be back in a few seconds your time, about an hour or more my time, and I'll keep you posted on if there's any issues. It's finished calibrating, but it didn't actually throw any notifications or anything to go ahead and change the line. You're supposed to just pay attention once that is complete, and then the readings on there are going to be the exact same readings you inputted that the calibration solution is supposed to measure at, right? I went ahead and decided to do a manual test right now so that it can grab water from the tank and do a test from the tank and see what the results come back at after, now that the calibration is done, and see the difference between the before and after. All right, so it has completed, and as you can see, it is not too far off from where it was, so I'm happy with that. This will conclude this video. Guys and gals, again, you know the drill. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. If you hit the notification bell, definitely hit that like button. out of so many people that watch, I don't see the like button being hit, and I don't know if it's whether because you like it or not. Hit the dislike if you don't like the video, but let me know. I mean, I want to know. I want to know what's going on. No, guys, seriously, please hit the like button if you like this video. If not, let me know. You know, hit the dislike, leave a comment. Either way, I want some kind of feedback. I want to know if this is what you like seeing, if you'd like to see more of it. Give me some motivation, guys. Subscribe if you're not already. I will catch y'all on the next one.